Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and I don't know if you can hear that right now through the microphone. That's my heart beating out of its chest after your Seattle Seahawks did everything they possibly could to try and blow this game against the Arizona Cardinals, but to no avail. Jason Meyers at one point was kind of the GOAT in this one, not in the greater than anyone else type of sense. He was the GOAT in the type of, you're the reason why we lost this one. Then he ends up knocking the last kick through, and your Seattle Seahawks come away with a victory. 23-20, big-time performance from Sam Darnold. Smart with the football. A lot of his incomplete passes came at the end of the game, and we'll dive into all of that. Kenneth Walker's running ability. Jackson Smith coming alive there at the end. Jackson Smith and Jigba, that is. But before I get into my reaction for this game, I want to know what your one-word reaction is in the comments. Is it be still my beating heart? Is it lucky win? Whatever it is, make sure you go and put that down below in the comments. 23-20 victory in a game where you were up 17-6 at one point. Frankly, it's scary. It's terrifying. It makes me worried about some things, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not worried about this guy who's up on the screen right now, Sam freaking Darnold. 242 passing yards does not give him enough credit because when you needed him most, he came up absolutely huge. He was darn near perfect for most of this game. A lot of his incomplete passes came as the game went. But what he did and what was most important to me is that in the final drive, when it's clutch time, he showed up. That was Darnold's issue when he was at Minnesota. Is he clutch? Is he not clutch? He was freaking clutch for this team in Seattle tonight. Finding Jackson Smith and Jigba on the sideline, allowing JSN to get out of bounds to stop the clock. Absolutely huge. Now, JSN, this is his smallest reception game. It's his smallest receiving yardage game. But frankly, that's just because the Arizona Cardinals had a good defensive game plan. We came into this one saying, are the Cardinals going to double JSN? Or are they going to leave him in single coverage and trust that they have a corner that can stop him? They didn't have a corner that can stop him, so they put him in double coverage until the end when they had to leave JSN in single coverage, and he absolutely took advantage. Most of his catches in this game came in those opportunities. I also love that Kubiak found a way to get him the ball in the running game. When you look at the total offense from the Seahawks, a lot of this is frankly because of what happened in the third quarter of this game. You had 384 yards. Well, shoot, you darn near had 300 of those. By the time you got into the second half, you really just took your foot off of the gas. I felt like you had a couple drives there where the Seahawks just didn't take advantage. There were opportunities. You just didn't do what needed to get done. Plus, you forced multiple turnovers of the Arizona Cardinals, and you didn't take advantage of those. So as good as you were in this game and as good as you were to find a victory, I still feel like there's a lot of meat left on the bone. Kenneth Walker, man, another big game from him. You knew he was going to kind of have to be the bell cow in this one. The fact that he's getting over 4 yards of rush, gigantic. And in the first quarter, he really struggled. I felt like Arizona had a good game plan when it came to stacking the box, loading the box, not allowing the offensive line to get going. You make some changes. Kenneth Walker starts seeing where the holes are. He hits them for a big, and I mean big, couple of gains there. Kenneth Walker, shout out to you. Zach Charbonnet was a guy on my watch list, and he was on my watch list not because you needed a big game from him, but because there were going to be spots where you needed him to show up. That was on the goal line, and Zach Charbonnet showed up. The only reason he doesn't have 2 touchdowns is because Jackson Smith and Jigba had a weird hold that frankly wasn't a hold in my eyes. Just got absolutely trucked. Don't know why that's a holding penalty when JSN took the brunt of that blow. Right now, Zach Charbonnet, man, you missed him against the New Orleans Saints. You didn't miss him in this one. Getting 12 carries in this one, but getting 40 yards, and frankly, he earned all 40 yards that he got. I know it says 39. I'm rounding up. Sue me. I felt like Zach Charbonnet was a huge piece for you in this one. A.J. Barner finding a way to get into the end zone. 4-year tight end. Absolutely huge. He got the game going, got the game rolling for you. Another touchdown for A.J. Barner, and that's all this kid does. He finds ways to get into the end zone and get TDs. Shout out to A.J. Barner. Congratulations to you. Now, I got to tell you my big takeaways from this one. I had 4 of them, but before I do that, got to talk to you about today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. I was playing Prize Picks this weekend. Trust me, I should have used that flex play option. I had a 2-pick power play for this game. Kyler Murray, less than 216.5 passing yards. Sam Darnold, more than 214.5 passing yards. Good for me. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. I'll tell you right now, when you look at that Arizona Cardinals offense, it was no bueno all the way until the very end. Now, Devin Witherspoon got picked on a little bit by Marvin Harrison Jr., but Marvin Harrison Jr. really struggled in this one. You forced 2 turnovers of Kyler Murray, both of those being interceptions. Frankly, you should have forced more than that. Kyler Murray threw a couple more balls that should have been intercepted. You just weren't able to capitalize. When you force Kyler Murray to throw the ball 41 times in a game, he's going to make mistakes. He had 1 interception going into this game. He's going to leave it with 3 on the year. 200 passing yards, that's all at the very end because Marvin Harrison Jr. decided to wake up. Now, I understand the second interception for Kyler Murray wasn't really his fault. Doesn't matter. It was still intercepted. Marvin Harrison Jr. could not catch the ball in the first half. Right now, when you look at those stats, I'm kind of a little bit shocked because I haven't been scoreboard watching, box score watching. But it's because Marvin Harrison Jr. figured out how to hold on to the ball at the end, and frankly, he took advantage of Devin Witherspoon. I'm going to chalk that up to the MCL bruise and that he wasn't 100%, wasn't ready to go. Got to be better. It has to be better. Trey McBride is the bane of my existence. Every single third down, it felt like he found a way to come up with a big catch. I am shocked that it's only 50 yards in this game. It felt like every time that the Arizona Cardinals needed a big play, needed a moment, it was that dude. It felt like every single time that they had a big key third down that got figured out, it was because Trey McBride came away with the big catch. Now I want to get into my takeaways for this one. Now, this isn't me ripping on anyone. This isn't me jumping on the bandwagon of anyone. Kenneth Walker is electric. I get it. I've been banging on the table for Zach Charbonnet. I've been banging on the table that this should be a split carry system. He had 81 rushing yards in this. They're mainly coming on 4 or 5 big runs. They're 4 or 5 big plays. But at some point, you just have to keep giving the ball to Kenneth Walker because he's going to find that hole in the defense. It's going to take time. That first quarter, there wasn't a lot of yardage there. There was tough sledding. The O-line didn't look great. Kenneth Walker didn't look great. Felt like when he needed to stay in the inside, he bounced it outside. When he needed to bounce outside, he stayed inside. Doesn't matter. Because in the second quarter, in the third quarter, fourth quarter, he figured it out. He figured out the big runs. Don't get the taunting penalty. The taunting penalty is stupid. Stupid that he got called for it. It's stupid that he put himself in the position to be called for it. But at the end of the day, man, got to keep finding him touches. I get it. There's going to be times where I overreact and I'm upset. Got to keep finding Kenneth Walker touches. Sam Darnold's elite. Right now, he is elite. You made the right decision. Geno Smith is a good quarterback. Geno Smith makes mistakes because he thinks he can fit the ball into any situation, and he turns the ball over. Sam Darnold doesn't do that. Yes, he had turnovers in his first 6 quarters with you. He hasn't turned the ball over in the last 2.5 games. And that has led you to victories easily. You have 3 victories in a row. You're now 1-1 in the division. That's because Sam Darnold's been awesome. And in the clutch, when you needed it most, he showed up. He wasn't the Avatar. He wasn't Aang. He didn't go disappear, hide in an iceberg. He showed up. He completed a couple passes. You got multiple first downs. Look at where he put you. This defense is absolutely unreal. Devin Witherspoon let me down in this game. 100%. That is a fact. He is going to get better. He's on an MCL bruise in the knee. He's not cutting the way he needs to. He's not able to be comfortable. He's missed the last 2 games. He's got a fine amount of tackles. I don't want my corners with tackles. I want my corners with a lot of PBUs. That's okay. He figured it out. Leonard Williams flying around. 1.5 sacks. He's already doubled his output on the year. Leonard Williams is a star in the NFL, and they just don't give him enough credit because he plays in the Northwest. Uchenna Nwosu. Hello. 2 sacks in this game. Dude was absolutely on fire. He missed most of training camp. He finally comes back. He misses your first game. He makes it back for the first 2 games, games 2 and 3. He doesn't do much. He absolutely balled out in this one. I had a watch list for Ernest Jones IV. Multiple tackles in this one. Felt like when he added into being in that QB spy against Kyler Murray, he was great. He was great. This defense is special. It's Legion of Boom-esque. It's not the same. It's esque. You have a great defense in Seattle again, and defenses win championships. Last one, Jason Meyers, man. Love you. You saw a big freak out from me and from one of the suits here at Chat Sports. It was an absolutely fantastic game. Look, Jason Meyers, man, I want to crucify you because you missed the first one. I want to sit up here and just be like, how dare you miss that most important field goal? Well, then you got another opportunity. You made it. I don't know about you, but when I mess up at work, I'm more likely to mess up the next time I go into work. Not Jason Meyers, man. Not Jason Meyers. He messed up, came out, completely redeemed himself. Not to quote Dumb and Dumber, but just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber, you go and totally redeem yourself. Jason Meyers, I love you. Thank you for absolutely being nails. I love you. Thank you for staying till the end of the video. Subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. We got videos coming out every single day here on Seahawks Today about your favorite team. Subscribe. You want to be here so you don't miss any Seahawks news. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show.